Welcome to another episode of the Report program. Today, we will cover the recent election in California prop outcomes.
Plus, we have full coverage on the World Series champions, the Chicago Cubs.
We will also be taking a look at the upcoming holiday season at Disneyland Resort. That and much more coming up on the Report program.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Report program. I'm Carla Bonilla.
I am Rebecca Fausto.
And I'm Bianca Hernandez. We have a lot to talk about today surrounding the election. Let's check in to see how the nation is reacting. Taylor Pereira has more on the story.
After Tuesday night's shocking news that Donald Trump will be our next president, protests and riots broke out at college campuses and cities across the country. What began as the seemingly tight race to the 270 electoral votes needed ended up as a clear defeat by Trump with 279 to 228 votes. Later, Mr. Trump took the stage to make his victory speech asking for both political parties to come together.
Of which there were a few people. I'm reaching out to you for your guidance and your help so that we can work together and unify our great country.
But it seemed too late for that. Angry protesters had already took the streets just minutes after the big announcement, carrying signs and chanting, "Not my president," among other things.
I feel like this campaign has only brought out a lot of hate and separation and these feelings of homophobia, misogynistic views, racism.
As the night went on, Americans also searched the internet on how to flee the country and ended up crashing the Canadian immigration site. Anti-Trump supporters have even gone so far as proposing what they're calling the Cal Exit, which is a campaign that aims to make California its own country by seceding from the U.S. With California being the sixth largest economy in the world, it has the potential to do just that. So, is Trump's call for unity too late? Have Americans already had enough? As riots continue to grow, it seems only time can tell.
The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided.
With Donald Trump elected as our new president, many are fearing their future as citizens of the United States. Jessica O'Neill has more on the story.
Use your privilege. Come on, Cal State Fullerton.
The polls have closed and the results are in. Donald Trump has been elected as the next president of the United States. With the results, many Titans gathered together November 9th to protest the outcome of the presidential election. Trump's past comments against women, people of color, multiple religions, and sexual orientations, just to name a few, have many Americans living in fear.
I'm devastated. I'm scared. I am a queer student. I'm also biracial. I'm a student activist, so there's multiple reasons why I'm terrified for my existence right now and the existence of my comrades and friends and allies.
They're afraid of how do I explain this to my children. I have Muslim friends who are texting me tonight saying, should I leave the country?
With these types of slurs, many citizens question if this is what America wants in a president.
Honestly, somebody that makes a president is somebody that's going to stand for the people, that somebody's going to understand, like, you know what? This is my country. This is our people's country. I'm not doing it for the big businesses. I'm not doing it for all the 1%ers. I'm doing it for that 99% that's trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. You know what I mean?
Will Trump really try to make America great again or fall short? The country will find out in January when Trump gets sworn into office. For the Report, I'm Jessica O'Neill.
With Donald Trump being elected the next president, will he stand up to the corruption at Capitol Hill? Reporter Matt Monhead has the story.
Use your privilege. Come on, Cal State.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business. Complicated.
Now that is your 45th president. Republican nominee Donald Trump was the first to 270 electoral votes by beating Democrat nominee Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election.
Donald Trump was the winner, and I think it says a lot about the country and what they're wanting right now, which is completely different than anything we've seen before. It is what it is. I do believe we learned some interesting things about this election, more of the corruption involved with politics, the big business and big money involved, and decisions made within the politicians.
Changing rules is sort of our culture. Congress does it all the time. You know, they change the rules and they don't follow the Constitution.
With Trump being our next president, will he stand up against the corrupt politicians and make a change in the nation's capital? We will see what he does in his first 100 days in office. Make sure to watch the president get inaugurated on Friday, January 20th, 2017.
Do you want to go back to them, or do you want to stay with Donald Trump?
Trump.
For the report program, this is Matt Monhead.
Gender and women's rights become an important issue in the presidential election. Both candidates presented extremely different views for the future of women in America. Reporter Nicholas Garcia has more.
The American voters could have elected the first woman president on Tuesday.
The first time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee for president of the United States.
But Donald Trump was chosen to be the next president of the United States. During the campaign, some of Trump's supporters advocated for the repeal of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. And throughout his life, Trump has said and allegedly done questionable things to women.
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah, there has to be some form.
10 years.
So what could a Trump presidency mean for women in this country? Cal State Fullerton professor Dr. Valerie O'Regan discussed Trump and gender earlier this week.
Sure what he's going to actually do after if he does become president. I think the traditional Republican members, people who are really involved or really supportive of traditional roles for women, hope that he will accomplish what he said he's going to do, like outlawing abortion, encouraging women to go back to the home and take care of their families, get rid of equal opportunities for women in the workplace. I think they're hoping for that. However, we don't know what he's going to do because he's never really, in fact, a lot of times he doesn't even tell us what he's going to do.
Only time will tell just what a Trump administration will mean for women. But Clinton and other feminists have vowed to defend women's rights through the next 4 years. For the Report program, I'm Nicholas Garcia.
I think I've seen a lot of the reactions from people, especially from people from races or that feel offended by Donald Trump. Their reactions are crazy. They're mad about it and they want to say something. They're not good with their reaction.
Yeah, I've seen that too all over social media. But honestly, I don't think violence is the right thing to do. What do you think, Bianca?
Yeah, everything should be handled in a peaceful manner, and that way our voices get heard the right way.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, 2 days have passed after the elections, and the results, we can say hello to more gun restrictions. But is this a good thing or a bad one? Reporter Lucero Alberto has more details.
What's a gun without its ammo? Not much at all. And with the pass of Proposition 63, it may be harder to attain either. The prop is supposed to keep guns and ammo out of the wrong hands while protecting the rights of law-abiding Californians to own guns for self-defense, hunting, or recreation. Right now, thousands of dangerous felons remain illegally armed because the government hasn't ensured that people convicted of violent crimes give up their guns after conviction. Lawrence Garcia, a gun owner himself, disagrees with the prop.
It's meant to be against criminals so they can't get ammunition, as to put background checks on it. But at the same time, if a criminal wants to get it, they're going to get an innocent person that has no criminal record to get their ammunition for them. So there's no point in this prop.
However, the proposition has passed, and you can now expect some stricter regulations on all people, including business.
And the choice to be able to use marijuana for recreation was one of many big decisions voters had to make on November 8th. Let's find out how the presidential candidates and California voters feel about Prop 64. Reporter Savannah Romero has more.
Marijuana is one among many controversial topics surrounding the 2016 election. Proposition 64 calls for the legalization of recreational marijuana use for adults ages 21 and over. Dr. Jonathan Taylor spoke at the All Points of the Compass conference held by the Cal State Fullerton Geography Department about the presidential candidates' positions on the topic as the election approaches.
Trump does favor state rights for marijuana and is against recreational but for medical marijuana. Clinton we should think of as a status quo, continue with the Obama policies. She's against recreational marijuana, but probably wouldn't try to clamp down on states.
A recent poll from the LA Times shows that almost 60% of potential voters support Prop 64, and almost 40% are against it.
I believe we should legalize recreational marijuana because there are at least 1.3 billion arrests per year, and 83% of those are on drug charges. 62% of those are based on African Americans, so the whole judicial system that surrounds the war on drugs is a way to oppress and imprison minorities.
I think if people are going to be mature about it with smoking weed, I think that's fine. You know, I'm totally fine with that. The same reason as, I don't know, alcohol is allowed, you know, so I think, yay, marijuana.
I voted on Prop 64 for yes, because I do believe in what marijuana can do for people.
I'm voting no on Prop 64 because when it becomes legalized, it'll increase the taxes. So all the people that have their medical card, which I'm one, it'll increase the amount that we have to spend just to get just to get the prescriptions.
I will vote no, and I believe that because I don't believe marijuana should be legalized to that extent.
Ultimately, the decision is up to voters. The numbers have come in, and Proposition 64 has passed with a 56% vote. I'm Savannah Romero with the Report Program.
School shootings have been a common occurrence since January of 2013. This needs to change. If we want our kids to have a future, let's come together and make a change for them. Here's Tony Fan with the story.
John 911, what's the location of the emergency?
Sandy Hook School. I think there's somebody shooting in here. Sandy Hook School.
Okay, what makes you think that?
Because somebody's got a gun. I saw a glimpse of somebody. They're running down the hallway.
Okay.
They're still running. They're still shooting.
142 school shootings in the U.S. since 2013. This number should be 0. What are we doing to make sure that our kids are safe every single day and to know that they are able to come back home?
It's very concerning for the parent has same as children. Children go to school every day. They worry, they're concerned, they only feel safe by the end of the day. As a parent, I'm also concerned to the safety of the campus because by the end of the day, when I see my children, I know they are safe. That is a big issue for our country.
Possible ways to help protect our kids: improve school security, bolster our kids' social skills, and watch out for one another.
These handprints are from children. What measures are we going to take as a country to make sure that they can have a lasting impact for our future?
Let's give our kids the opportunity for success. I'm Tony Fan, reporting for The Report.
Coming up after the break, we learn how we can rebuild police trust.
You ever think about buying a bigger place? Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy. There is no credit fairy. How else will I get a better credit score? Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it. No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
This financial advisor is being accused of committing one of the largest investment frauds in the history of the United States.
I guess we're not going to Aspen. That's fine. You see, I like tennis balls. He likes insider trading. So he's going to jail and I'm going to a shelter. And no, they're not the same thing. Shelters are for good pets that want to be adopted. Jails are for criminals. I've done nothing. Uh-oh. Ooh, okay, I stole a cheeseburger once. I'm a dog.
The increase of crimes against police officers has made an already difficult job just a little bit harder. A great way to fix it? To rebuild the trust between police officers and the communities, reporter Laura Quinton met with an LAPD lieutenant to get the story.
Being a police officer has always been a difficult job. Officers with many years on the job seem to think that it keeps getting more difficult.
To be effective police officers, to stop crime, prevent crime, educate the public, all those things that we do, it makes it difficult when the public doesn't trust us.
Having a connection between police officers and the community is very important to ensure trust and safety.
The public's perception, especially in the minority communities, has increased. I mean, we've gotten a better, more positive review from minority communities.
Trust between the police and the community builds and breaks with media coverage of both police shootings and police killed in the line of duty.
Now, lately, there's been a lot of noteworthy acts of violence on police officers, specifically because they're police officers.
Crimes against police officers is at an all-time high, and it definitely affects the way they do their job.
Things have gotten very much more dangerous for our officers, and the byproduct of that is many officers aren't as willing to engage with criminals as they were before. Therefore, oftentimes crime spikes because we're not as proactive as we could be.
Mourning fallen officers has almost become part of the job.
When an officer is killed in the line of duty, we do this with our badge. We put these bands on there when somebody has died.
Police officers hope crime and wrongful shootings will come to an end so there will be no fear or lack of trust. I'm Laura Quinton with The Report.
And the television news program Al Día at Cal State Fullerton gives students the opportunity to experience how a real news broadcast room works. By giving them real-life skills, they need to become competitive in the broadcast journalism work field. Reporter Rebecca Fasto tells us more.
Almost 40% of communication students at Cal State Fullerton are Hispanic. In California, the need for professional journalists who can write and speak Spanish is increasing. Al Día is the first and only news broadcast completely in Spanish at Cal State Fullerton. CSUF students created an all-Spanish news broadcast last year. The show Al Día prepares bilingual students by giving them the opportunity to experience what it is like to be in a broadcast newsroom. Once a week, switching between Monday and Wednesday, Cal State Fullerton students gather up at the Pollock Library to record Al Día. Students who volunteer can develop their journalistic skills by participating in the pre-production and production stages of the show.
Like right now, we have to write the stories, get videos, do graphics, and all of that. I kind of get the idea of how a newsroom would work. And from class, pretty much you don't get that unless you volunteer.
Students have the opportunity to do different segments such as weather, health, technology, sports, world news, and entertainment.
So I think the first semester was great, but I definitely see that the show has gotten better because the students now know what they are expected to do. Their confidence level is up. Their enthusiasm and ownership of the show is great. And I think Roxana is a great executive producer.
Cal State Fullerton students will continue to develop their journalistic skills by volunteering. For the Report program, I'm Rebecca Fausto. Major PR, a Cal State Fullerton public relations team, facilitated a toy drive at Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor for the Sickle Cell Disease Foundation of California. The families of sickle cell disease are in need of holiday support. Bree Burries covered last weekend's event that showed a large amount of donation families of sickle cell will receive.
A toy drive for the Sickle Cell Disease Foundation was arranged by a student public relations team called
Major Key PR.
Major Key PR wanted to support the families affected by sickle cell disease by facilitating a toy drive at Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor restaurants. Sickle cell disease is an inherited disease in which a person does not have enough healthy red blood cells to carry oxygen throughout the body. Sudden pain affecting different parts of the body is a common symptom of sickle cell disease. This pain is called a sickle cell crisis. Sickle cell crises often affect the bones, lungs, abdomen, arms, legs, and joints. They advertise their event, posting flyers and promoting their cause on social media. Major Key PR asks the community and beyond to donate unwrapped toys, clothes, and non-perishable food items. The turnout was great.
Our event is going great. We're already into our second hour, and we've given away 2 of our raffle prizes. So the guests have won gift cards to Cha-Cha's as well as gift cards to Fresca's. So it's going great. We've got a lot of toys, and we hope to get some more later on.
Veros agreed to donate a portion of the proceeds to the Sickle Cell Disease Foundation if customers show their flyer when ordering their food.
Your receipt helps our organization and Veros. Okay, thank you. They're not for you guys.
Major Key PR advertised the event in different media outlets, which caught the attention of many people. A family of sickle cell disease came out to donate.
We donated a whole bunch of clothes, some toys, and then some bags or whatnot.
Purses.
Yeah, purses. I found out about it through my sister. She came up and was like, hey, the sickle cell community is doing a fundraiser. I was like, hey, you know we got to donate. So
Everyone enjoyed the delicious ice cream and food. Major Key PR surpassed their fundraising goals. This is Bree Burries from the Report Program.
Holiday season is upon us. Check out what's new at the Disneyland Resort. Taylor Pasqua has the story.
The greatest time of year is officially here. Today marks the start of the holiday season at Disneyland Parks. The park is decorated all out in true Disney form. Decorations are everywhere you turn, whether it's garland hanging from the buildings, wreaths to match the land, or several different Christmas trees.
Disneyland is super fun during Christmas because all the decorations that they put up and the castle is super pretty. Everything just is all lit up and fun.
There is also a lot of holiday merchandise for sale. Whether you need stockings for the fireplace, ornaments for your tree, or even a plate for cookies and milk for Santa, they've got it all. The most iconic part about Disney during the holidays is the way Sleeping Beauty's castle lights up Main Street at night. Speaking of lighting up Main Street, Disney announced that the historic Main Street Electrical Light Parade will be returning to Disneyland during the holidays.
I think people are super excited for the Main Street Electrical Light Parade to return because it's over 30 years old, so a lot of people have a lot of fun memories with their friends and family of watching the parade, either here at Disneyland or where it's been recently at Walt Disney World, and there's also a lot of iconic floats.
Lastly, today marks the grand opening of the first ever Festival of Holidays at the California Adventure Park. It is a walk through the park experience where you can purchase different kinds of food and drinks from around the world. They even have cookie decorating for the kids and alcohol for the adults. So if you're in the mood for some holiday cheers, head to the Disney parks before it all disappears. This is Taylor Pasqua with the Report Program.
How exciting. I'm going to make sure I tell all my family members about these Disneyland celebrations. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I haven't been there in a while. I think we should all go.
Yeah, I think we should go.
And well, in other news, the Chicago Cubs made history last week when they became this year's World Series champion.
As you probably have heard by now, the Chicago Cubs have won the 2016 World Series. After an impressive 108-year drought, the Cubs finally have their win. And it wasn't easy. In case you were one of the few who did not watch the World Series, the Cubs did the unthinkable. They made a major comeback after being down in the series 3-1, something that only 5 teams have ever done before. Not only that, the Cubs found themselves in a couple difficult situations throughout Game 7. Player errors, pitching changes, and even a rain delay after heading into extra innings. Everything that could go wrong seemed to be unfolding right in front of everyone's eyes. As fans around the world watched and waited, the rain delay was finally called and the Cubs went up to bat in the top of the 10th. Miraculously, they broke the tie, giving them the lead, and then it finally happened. The Cubs won the World Series, and the world cheered and celebrated together after witnessing history right in front of their very eyes.
And football may be a fun sport to watch. However, it's a very dangerous game to play. Kira Norell has a story for you.
Body get back. That's why my pin needs a pad, cause my rhyme's on a red tag. Just like I did with addiction, I'm about to like a magician. Critics, I turn up got them still on the fence, whether they're but quick to get it past. Let's bring it back to that vintage slim. The order NCN mixed with the Vinci and MC Rin. And I don't mean Stimpy's friend. Been public enemy since you thought PE was gym. Shoes off, let your head all night long.
Hard hits to the head and other serious body injuries. Is playing football really worth it?
100,000 concussions occur in all levels of football, and 60% of these are from head-to-head collisions. In an impact lasting just 15 milliseconds, a player's head, on average, experiences almost 100 Gs of force. And collisions on special teams can result in forces of up to 190 Gs. In the NFL, the average speed of a head-to-head impact, the velocity of both heads combined, is 20 miles per hour, with the struck player's head decelerating 14 miles per hour. According to studies done by Sports Science's chief medical advisor, Dr. Basil Aish, this 15-millisecond impact is equivalent to getting smashed in the head with a sledgehammer.
So remember, football games may be pure entertainment, but these players are risking their bodies for your enjoyment. I'm Kiara Norell with the Report Program. Fashion, art, music, and more collided this weekend at the Long Beach Convention Center. Here is Lydia Mosqueda with everything that went down at the Complex Con.
At Complex, we put style, music, sneakers, art, right at your fingertips. This fall we invite you to step inside of our world.
Complex Magazine and boutique group Red Pop have teamed up to bring the first ever Complex Con to the Port of Long Beach this past weekend. It was a convention unlike any other, where fashion, music, art, and much more collaborated to make an unforgettable two-day experience. Some of the minds behind this event include legendary artist Takashi Murakami, award-winning producer Skrillex, and their culture director and executive chair Pharrell Williams. Complex describes itself as a community of creators and curators armed with the internet and committed to surfacing the most relevant conversations sourced from both multiculturals and the multicultural that define our new America.
All about calling out cultural appropriation for what it is and understanding how to define it.
Doors opened at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, where DJ Zane Lowe and E-Broy live-streamed the event from the Beach One radio booth. The showrooms was filled with many fashion pop-up booths, such as Little Yachty, Paxson, and Starboy, as well as interactive ones like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, where players were able to take the love of their game to a virtual reality. Starting at 11:30 a.m. on both days, panels were moderated by members of the Complex media staff and were held throughout the day, lasting about 30 minutes. Discussion topics for these range from achieving longevity in the game, featuring Ice Cube and Tony Hawk, the Sneaker of the Year debate with Wale and Benjamin Kicks, following fame from Instagram to stardom, and even the business of weed with Wiz Khalifa, The Game, Dr. Dina, and Action Bronson. The real enjoyment, however, came at the end of the day when artists took the stage in the Complex Arena. The lineup for both nights included Skrillex, Virgil Abloh, Travis Scott, Kid Cudi, Britney Sky, Snoop Dogg, Migos, 2 Chainz, Pharrell, and much more. Many fans were excited to see the performers, especially Kid Cudi, who was performing for the first time since going to rehab earlier this year. Day pass tickets for either day were $45 each, although a 2-day pass was available for $80. Tickets to the arena concert, however, were a separate purchase with ranging prices. Complex Con was a major success and will surely be back next year, so make sure to subscribe to Complex for any future updates.
After the break, we will learn more about a new fitness center in Claremont.
I didn't know we were all going to be in this shot.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready.
If you're someone that dedicates your life to fitness, health, and wellness, then the Claremont Club is the perfect place for you. It is where you can enjoy 19 acres of outdoor beauty and physical fun.
If you're someone that dedicates their life to exercise, health, and wellness, then you should check out the world-class fitness center, the Claremont Club. The Claremont Club is one of Southern California's finest health, fitness, and wellness centers. It is located on 19 beautiful acres in the city of Claremont. The facility is most known for being a tennis club. They have some of the best tennis pros in the country that offer private lessons and clinics for all ages. The facility also includes a family pool, along with an Olympic swimming pool, a weight room, and cardio room with state-of-the-art equipment where training and group exercise classes are held. The club has a yoga studio, Pilates studio, and power plate studio. There is also a daycare center on the facility where parents can take their children while working out. The Claremont Club also has a full day spa and hair salon. I spoke with retired firefighter Joel Kaskinen about why he loves the Claremont Club so much.
Well, I've been a member here at the Claremont Club in Claremont, California, on and off since 1978. But most recently, I came back to the club after my retirement from the fire department. I took some lessons to make sure that my game wasn't too rusty and I was able to come back and be competitive. So I took lessons for a year, and then I started playing in the men's ladder Tuesday and Thursday mornings. And now I play mostly a social ladder with a group of friends Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings. Have a wonderful time. At 61 years old, I couldn't be happier. I'm in good shape, and I'm enjoying life.
The Claremont Club prides itself on providing the highest level and quality of service to its members and their families. Join now so you and your family can build a life of health and wellness together. I am Taylor Rodriguez reporting for The Report.
Have a big interview coming up? Don't know what to wear? Head over to the University Hall to take advantage of the Women and Adult Rearing Programs Career Closet. Here is Francesca Lauren with more.
Dressing well is a form of good manners after all. For Cal State Fullerton students, the Women's and Adult Reentry Center is making sure students are dressed for success. Tuffy's Career Closet, as they call it, is a new program developed by graduate assistant Jose Contreras with the purpose of providing students with professional attire for jobs and internships at no cost.
I thought that would be something beneficial for our campus since it wasn't already here.
Currently, the closet is more like an office, literally.
In terms of expansion, finding more space to house all this stuff, this is Shali's office, so as you can see, it's a little crowded. Just hoping that more students come to utilize it. This is a free resource to them, so hopefully they take advantage of it more.
While this program is fairly new, beginning in September, the Women's and Adult Reentry Center strongly urges all students, male or female, to come by for a quick shopping spree. It's free. Fortunately, the program has been flooded with donations and really needs students to actually take these clothes off their hands.
Take clothes.
Feel free to bring by clean clothes to the Women's and Adult Reentry Center, located in University Hall, room 205. But more importantly, come by on Tuesday, Wednesdays, or Thursdays from 3 to 7 p.m. to shop for your next big interview. When you look good, you feel good. Francesca Loren with The Report.
And last week, Dia de los Muertos is a celebration in honor of the deceased, in which family and friends gather on this day to celebrate in memory of the loved ones. Reporter Bianca Hernandez tells us more.
Muertos is a very cultural time for people in Mexico and in the U.S. Custom-made altars are created for the deceased alongside an offering of their most favorite foods and most valuable items during their living years. This celebration brings together family and friends in order to remember their loved ones who have passed and help support their spiritual journey. It is a way to honor the living and the dead. This event, hosted in the Heritage Square in Oxnard, California, presented different performances in which the women dressed in long, colorful skirts and a traditional flowered shirt. They painted half of their faces, showcasing a skull. However, the men painted their full face. At the end of the performance, they all come together and line up and walk around.
I'm from Mexico, and this is a Latino event. The culture is so different, and because I've lived in the U.S. for so long, it refreshes what it is and what we're celebrating. And really, this occasion brings back the immortality of humanity, which is a social cultural event. We celebrate not the passing on, but a life afterwards. And really, as Hispanics and Latinos, we tend to lose that root. And it's wonderful. Everyone learns. The ones that come for the first time, as well as those that come and do the presentation, because they hear how we accept their culture.
Bicultural, sometimes you kind of feel lost in between, like, am I American, am I Mexican? And so with these types of events, we kind of reinforce that, you can be both, and this is also part of your culture and you should embrace it.
Here at Oxnard Heritage Square, where the event Dia de los Muertos is being held, where all the culture and tradition of the community can be seen. I invite you all to come out and see this amazing event put together. This is Bianca Hernandez reporting.
Are you stressed over school, work, or your personal life? Come to the Fullerton Arboretum on a campus for a moment of relaxation and contact with nature. Reporter Carla Bonilla tells us more.
A lot of the students at Cal State Fullerton don't know about the existence of the Fullerton Arboretum, which is a place for relaxation, go for a walk, plant your own flowers and plants, bird watch, painting, and many other activities. The Arboretum is also a place for nature preservation.
At the Arboretum here, ways that we conserve the soil is, for example, mulch. It not only serves as kind of an aesthetic and a weed suppressor, but it also prevents it from eroding.
The Arboretum is also a place of nature diversity. It consists of dry area and a wet area, but not just that. The Arboretum is primarily there to serve as a place where people can be in contact with the nature, go for a walk, read a book, go with the children, and spend a day in family. I invite all Cal State Fullerton students to stop by at the Fullerton Arboretum just to have contact with the nature and a place of relaxation. Reporting for the Report program, this is Carla Bonilla.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of the Report program. I'm Bianca Hernandez.
I'm Rebecca Fausto.
And I am Carla Bonilla. Have a good night.